morning, my YouTube friends. If you're new here, my name is Diana and I am a 12th year, mostly 5th grade teacher. And if you're not new here, welcome back to my channel. So last week we were on spring break. Oh, I wish I could go back and reverse time. But yeah, we were on spring break, and so that's probably why you didn't see my vlog last week, because we were just enjoying life. But we are back to our regularly scheduled program this week. And so I'm on my way to school. It says I should be there at about 8:08, so it is 7:48 right now. So got about 20 minutes, and I don't know about any of you, but like, I mean, I guess that like have, well, I guess in a trunk too, but like sometimes like things get put in the back and like it's not like properly secure, or if like my back is empty and it's just rolling around every time I drive, and it drives me nuts because it's just like I'll turn and it's just like boom boom boom, and then I'll turn and it's just boom 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 boom. So it drives me nuts, and I just heard it and I'm like, ugh. I was like, I had just stopped because I dropped off my daughter, and I'm like, why didn't I look in the back and see what this was? Anywho, so all right, so today we are back to our regularly scheduled program, as I said. And yeah, so I know what I'm going to do. I just don't remember because I planned it out the day before yesterday. So I mean, like, I kind of got mostly everything put together. I got my slides together. I like had my like worksheets that I'm going to like dispense and all that stuff. But I just honestly am drawing a blank, and I don't know if it's like after spring break brain, but I just don't remember what I'm going to do today. I know for grammar, we're doing sentences. So we've done sentences all year, and we've done a lot of like subject predicate, but this time around we're going to be doing sentences, and we're going to talk a lot more about all the different types of sentences, because we've talked about subject and predicate. So they know at this point you have to kind of have a verb, and you got to have a noun. You got to have those things kind of put together. Like somebody has to be doing something. And so they've gotten to that point, but we haven't really talked about like, I mean, we've kind of touched a little bit on like simple sentences, complex sentences, compound sentences, all that good jazz. But we haven't really like talked about it to where the point where we can apply it. And so I think that's what we're going to do, because I think our final unit for the year is fantasy. And so we always read The Thief of Always. And if you are a 5th grade teacher and you have, there it goes. If you're a 5th grade teacher and you have not read this story, I would highly recommend to read it. Last year was my first year reading it. And so the kids really enjoyed it. It's a little weird. And it's a little like, I don't know. It's a little like, I don't know. I can't even describe it. Like, it's not like inappropriate for 5th grade. It's just a little more like gory and scary. But I'm sure it's nothing that like R.L. Stine hasn't covered anyway. But there's just like certain parts where you're just like, oh, okay. But it is a really good book, and it is for 5th grade. And so I highly recommend it, because it's so just off the wall that like I think the kids enjoy it, because it's so like things they wouldn't even like imagine. And so that's the book that we're reading, and I think we're gonna start it like next month. I think we start it like the last month of the year, but I think this month, because we're in April and I think we end in like May or the beginning of June, I think we're going to do fantasy writing with it. And so I think for this month, before I introduce the book, I wanted to kind of just have them write a fantasy story and kind of just do that, or at least not necessarily write it, but like learn all the components and learn how to write a narrative. Because here's the thing, we've been talking all year, and we've been writing a lot of like expository essays, or like just talking about things and explaining things, or like, yeah, we talked about like our favorite animal or things that pertain to us, but like we haven't really wrote stories. And so I want to kind of talk a little bit more about like stories and how to like graph them out and just like having all of those things. And I think it'd be a really cool idea to do before we get into the book. And then maybe at the end of the year have them rewrite a story, or they can even, I guess maybe we have them not rewrite, but write another story, utilizing like the fantasy. So like now that they've have an idea of like hearing it and seeing it in action. And the thing is like a lot of them obviously have read fantasy before. But I think for some reason this book kind of takes it to a different place, to where it's just like, oh, because a lot of the fantasy, like some of my girls that are in my room, obviously they've read like Harry Potter and things like that. And it's like, that's a great fantasy, but it is also very complex. And so like The Thief of Always is very simple fantasy, but it's just like, it's just, well written because of like some of the things that it incorporates in the story, and just like, it has the kids. It's something that I think that the kids can relate to a little more than like when you read the Harry Potter books, because they're so like, she's just, so like, I don't even know, I can't even think of the word, but like, it's really hard for a kid to read. And if you're not like a really good reader, I think you would struggle reading Harry Potter series, whereas opposed to like The Thief of Always, I think that you can kind of get the gist of it even if you're not like the best reader. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, check out the book, it's really good. Yeah, so those are the two things that I know we're doing for sure in writing and that. And then I think I'm going to try a new spelling tactic. I got this book at the library, so I know I've been doing the making words, but I think I'm going to try this spelling lab book that I have, where it actually like teaches sounds and like patterns on how to spell. And so I think that's what a lot of my kids are lacking, because it's like, yeah, we look at like the different ways that we can make words, but I think at this point they need to learn like the patterns of how like sounds are, and how they know how to like put a word together based on like these patterns that we learn. And so I don't know, I'm gonna try that today and or this week, and see how that goes. But yeah, those are kind of some of the things that we're looking at today. I want to say that we might be also doing text structure, but I don't know. I had planned on doing it, but I didn't really come up with anything to do yet, so we'll see. Plus, it's their first day back, so I don't want to overwhelm them and drive them crazy or whatever. But yeah, all right, so I will check in with you guys later. I hope you guys had a great spring break. If you already had spring break, if you did not, kudos to you. It is coming, and it is going to be glorious, and you're going to be so excited to have it. And then you're going to be like me on the Monday you have to go back, and you're just like, oh my life. All right, well, whatever. I'll see you guys in a little bit. So it is the end of the day. I did not pick up the camera at all. I'm gonna be honest, sorry, I just got a text message. Anyway, just was not motivated today to really kind of get on camera and talk, even though I was very positive this morning. There's just a lot of things going on in my professional life right now that I'm just like trying to figure out right now. And so just like I just had a lot of things going on in my brain, and I just didn't get the opportunity to really pick up the camera. So today was kind of just like a very, back from break kind of day. And so there wasn't really a lot going on. And then we had an assembly, and it was just really difficult to kind of get back to the whole routine of things. And like I said, I just have a lot of things going on in my brain. And I guess the only reason why I really haven't shared more personally with it is because I know some of my students follow my channel, and I don't want to really share any of that stuff right now. So I'm hoping that, and I mean, there's nothing really set in stone. I mean, some parts are set in stone, but some of them aren't yet. And so I just kind of don't know where I'm going with that. So once I kind of have the logistics of that, I'll probably end up sharing with everybody. But so yeah, I just have all these like things going on in my head, and those of you that are teachers probably understand that better than anyone else. And so yeah, so so right now I'm actually gonna get ready to leave soon. I just a lot of the stuff that I was trying to get to today I didn't really get to, so I'm trying to make sure that I have everything prepared for tomorrow, and just I have those things in the works for tomorrow for my classes. And so yeah, I'm just here, plus I'm waiting. My niece had asked me if I could pick her up and take her to the grocery store. She doesn't really have a car right now, and so so she asked me if I could do her that favor. And my kids were supposed to have their first day of practice for t-ball, but it's been really like rainy here the past couple of days, and so the field has just been very blah. And then I think actually today it's also supposed to be raining in the evening, because they were supposed to be practicing at 5:30. It's 4:19 right now, so I think they canceled it for Thursday. And so I think that's what we're gonna do. So I think I'm gonna leave here probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes, and then go pick up my niece, take her to the grocery store, and then pick up my mom. Normally my mom, as you guys know, if you followed, my mom usually stays on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or I'm sorry, Wednesdays and Thursdays, because my boyfriend goes into the office now those days. But I think he is actually on a new team, and so sorry, I had to kind of cut that off. My janitor came in, and so, you know, he comes in with the big bulky garbage and just making all kinds of noise. So anyway, yeah, so I don't know where, oh, anyway, I think I was talking about my mom, and so yeah, I'm gonna pick her up today, because he's actually going in tomorrow and Wednesday, so I'm gonna pick her up and she's gonna spend the night today, which my son will be really happy, because he wanted her to spend the night yesterday for Easter Sunday, but you know, obviously she couldn't, so so he's gonna be really excited. But yeah, so I'm gonna head out, I'm gonna head to the grocery store, and then I will chat with you guys later, if not tomorrow morning. So hopefully you guys had a great day. Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 2nd. So sorry we didn't chat this morning. Really fast-paced morning. However, just wanted to really quickly go over what we went and did today. So we did our spelling pre-assessment, where I gave them, I don't know if you can kind of see back there, maybe not, I have to probably show you, hold on. So these were the words that we had did for our pre-assessment, and so I told the kids if they got 5 or less, then, you know, they were good, and we could kind of start our lesson at a certain spot. But unfortunately, a lot of them got 5 or more. So we started at the very beginning, and so I'll kind of just show you a little bit about what we did. So one of the activities that we did, I'll just grab one of these really quickly, was we did this open close activity, and it's part of the book. And so what they do is they read the word and they have to check off whether it is an open or closed word. And so the goal is for them to understand that like vowel sounds are open, and that like consonants are closed. And so once they kind of figured that out, it was a lot easier for them to handle. And then, sorry, I just should have had all this stuff out for you guys. And then we kind of went over this, like, this is like the spelling pattern formula chart. And so we kind of just went through some of these. Some of the kids were like, oh yeah, I remember this, and this is really easy. But then when I gave them the back side of this, which was like more of the initial, medial, final floss positions, the sound situations, this is when they started to be like, oh, that's a little bit different. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, so it kind of goes, so today we kind of just went over the first 3. So we went over like the background knowledge. We talked a little bit about like the reinforcement with the vowels and consonants, and then the open and closed. And so this is kind of, so it says tip for younger students or reinforcement. And so this is what I took. So it's like, it had these sounds. It said make the sound of each of the letter of the alphabet and notice how open or closed your mouth is. And then so it had them do these. So I wanted them to kind of see like when they start off the word, like apple, elephant, icky, octopus, umpire, for the short vowels, those were like the open words. And then obviously these were going to be like the closed ones because they were all consonants. And then we just went over that. And so tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about like the syllable division, and then I'll probably make something else to kind of go along with this, and then the sound position.
Good morning,
and then and then we'll probably talk more about this as the week goes on, the concepts of like Revi and Macan coding, short and long vowels, and just kind of talk more about the open and closed syllables, and kind of just go through those before we get into like our first official lesson on like the different sounds and the modeling and all that good jazz. And then we also did this today where we were creating great sentences. And so what we did was I kind of went over with them like the different types of sentences. So yeah, we went over like the requirements of a sentence, and then we talked about like the different types of sentences like compound, complex. But we didn't really practice anything. We just kind of touched on it. And so what I did was I ended up giving them like a verb and a noun together. And then like I gave them like 4 in their group. And so they were supposed to create sentences using these different ones. And then if you kind of, before doing this activity, we kind of did it together as a class. And so I had them I gave them a word like crash, and then I had them to come think of things that came to mind that kind of resembled or went with crash. So some said plane, some said truck, some said like waves. And so we created some sentences using that. And so I just gave them this to kind of have them do that. And some of them we came up with some really good sentences that were complex, that were not just simple, like, he runs up the stairs. And so it was designed to kind of get them to use this, and to kind of like, and some of them actually figured out like they could use like past or present tense. So like he washed the car rather than just saying wash car. And then we finished it with doing this. And so we kind of looked at some of these and then kind of thought like what were the complete sentences, having them find like, requirements of a sentence, and then using these to kind of come up with the sentences as well. So that was our day. So far, man. I am so tired. Look at the bags, and I did not put any makeup on today, and you can just tell. Like, look at this. I look like Lurch from the Addams Family. Like, look at how dark circled my bags are. Or not my bags, I'm sorry, dark circles under my eyes. So if any of you guys know like a good remedy for dark circles, or know a good product that you can use to kind of alleviate these dark circles, that would be fabulous. I mean, I know makeup works, but on days like today when I didn't have time to do makeup, like look at this. Oh my goodness. People are going to be like, you look like you're dying. So, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so that is what we kind of did today. And then I'll just kind of show you a little bit about, here, I'll show you some of the sentences they made. I'm just going to cut through here really quickly. Let's see. You need to eat dinner, Ryan. Oh, so this person kind of just did like different, like using the same thing. They didn't actually use different, subjects or verbs and nouns. This kid just did his name and he just kept doing, hold on. So, sorry about that. So some of them came up with some really nice sentences that made sense. Some of them kind of had like simple basic sentences, but overall they understood like the concept of what they were supposed to be doing. So other than that, I mean, it was a pretty decent day, and it kind of went by fast. So now they're at specials and I'm actually on my way to PLC, but I just wanted to check in with you guys and kind of just tell you guys about my day and how it's going. But I will check in with you guys at lunch. So we made it to the end of the day. Yeah, just a long day overall. Not really long in terms of like bad behavior or anything like that, just long. Yeah, I was actually sitting on my break and I was counting the days on my calendar, like how many days we have left, and I think we officially have like 40, something like that. 9 weeks to be exact. So yeah, I just I'm normally not a day counter. Like I love my job. I mean, I love being a teacher. I love being here. I mean, I'm okay with summers off. I just, sometimes I'm not, only because I kind of have to have like some routine and structure in my day. And I don't know if a lot of you guys have experienced that, but I'm so used to doing, you know, working. And it's like once I get to summer, and I think last year was like the first summer that I didn't work. Normally I would work, excuse me, at like Petco or something. It was the first time I didn't work. And it was great, but it was great to spend it with my kids because, you know, my son started school this year and stuff. So, but at the same time, it was very challenging because I'm not used to being so free, you know, being more on a structured schedule. And I don't know. So, but I can honestly say that this year I'm kind of counting the days. Not so much because like the kids drive me crazy. It's just other factors in my school that I'm looking forward to it being done. But anywho, but as you're seeing, you kind of seen what we did. We did the same thing for my second class as well. And it was pretty good. The sentences were great. It was funny. It's always funny talking to the older kids, like about things that you learned in primary, like sounds, letter sounds, vowels, consonants, and things like that, because they always look at you like you're crazy because they're just like, we're in 5th grade, this is what we learned. But when it is time for them to recall, or we have these conversations and I'm like, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And then they're just like, so it's always funny to me that they want to act like they're too cool for school with, you know, learning those things. But I tell them all the time, I'm like, you know, those are crucial skills that you need, because I mean, you know, unfortunately you don't know every word in the English language, and you have to have strategies to learn new words and how to learn new words and how to sound out new words and how they're the patterns, so that you can spell these words that like are given to you that you've never come across. So but that was that. So yeah, so now I'm just waiting for my boyfriend to get here. He usually gets off of work at 4:30, and then by the time like he, you know, gets his life together and gets in his car or gets in the car and things like that, it's just like he doesn't get here till like 5-ish. So I don't know, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just like really in a funk right now, and these days are kind of just like really, you know, just not the typical same that they used to be. And I don't know, I'm just like wishing I didn't feel this way, but I don't know. It's also maybe due to the fact that I haven't really taken my anti-anxiety medication that I should be taking. I always forget, and then it's like when I remember, it's like, did I bring my coat today? Oh, I brought my coat today. Did I take it off somewhere? Interesting. Oh, it's over there. Yeah, so it's just like I don't know, like I keep forgetting, and then when I, you know, when I do take it, I think I do feel the difference. So I just need to be better at taking it, and I don't know if that's just leading me to be very blah right now. And I hate feeling very blah, and I hate feeling like things are just whatever and like going through the motions. I want to have some sort of sentiment behind it, and I feel like that's kind of where I am right now. So maybe that's the reason why I've been feeling the way. I mean there are other factors, but just overall, and you know, like it's not just professionally, but like in my home life, I just realize, and you know, people tell me like, oh, you just look kind of out of it, kind of like blah. So I know it's obviously something that needs to be adjusted. So I think it's just me not taking my medicine, needing to take my anti-anxiety medication that will help with my mental status. But anywho, yeah, so I'm just gonna be sitting here waiting till he gets off work, and then I will check in with you guys later. Good morning and happy Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Today, Mother Nature has decided that she wants to be indecisive about her life because, well, you can't probably see here because it's wet, but it's actually snowing outside. So, interestingly enough, yeah, so it's just so crazy to me how the weather can go from like really nice to like 60s, 70s to like 30, 40s to like snowing. So, that's where we're at. Anywho, so we're on our way to school. I just left my house. Today was a little bit of a change of plans. Me and my boyfriend, well, my boyfriend was supposed to go into work today, but he just decided not to go because it was snowing outside, and he wasn't sure if anyone's going to be in the office because like they work from home, but you know, some days out the week they have to go in. And they get to choose. It's not like any specific day. So he decided to stay home, and my mom was already home, so I didn't have to take my daughter. But looking at traffic, it says it's like 42 minutes. Traffic is heavy today, probably because of the snow. So I'm just on my way to work, me, myself, and I. And yeah, so I'm so tired, and it's sad as it sounds, I'm just counting down these days till summer. Well, more so for the weather too. Oh, hold on one second. Yeah, sorry about that. I just needed to see which way the GPS wanted me to go, because depending on the weather and traffic, it tells me to go different ways. So just checking to see which way they want me to go today. So yeah. So today, yeah, it's nothing spectacular going on today. My kids, one of my have library today, and then after school we are going to my boyfriend's mom's birthday is today, and so we are going to Olive Garden to like just celebrate her birthday, have like dinner, and then just I think go back to their house and just kind of hang out or whatever, which is nice. But it's just going to be a long day because I know that usually when we do those things, we usually don't get home until late. And so it'll just be a little long day. But overall, not too crazy. It will be nice to go to Olive Garden. I don't know about you. I know everybody says it's so overpriced for like fake Italian, but I do love Olive Garden. I'm just because I love pasta. I'm like a big pasta person, and it's funny because we talk about my son all the time because he's like really carb heavy. Like he loves bread, loves pasta. He loves anything carbs. Bread is like his go-to. Loves bread. Sorry, my windshield wipers are very loud. I don't know why. I replaced them not too long ago, so I don't know why they're squeaking, but whatever. But yeah, so he loves bread and loves carbs, and so it's just funny because he's very carb heavy, and that's like me. I love bread. I love pasta, and so yeah, and you know, they have those wonderful, fabulous breadsticks, and then of course the pasta. So that's what we're doing today. In school today, we are going to continue working on writing those sentences. I think I'm going to kind of deep dive a little bit more into the complex compound sentences because I feel like a lot of my kids yesterday when they created the sentences, they had some really good sentences. Now, did they have good grammar? No. Were they using the commas correctly? No. However, they did put good sentences together. Like, a lot of them were not simple, which was really nice because that's kind of like what we, you know, strive for. I'm trying to get them to go from simple to, like, you know, I ran down the street to, you know, I ran down the street because blah, 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 or like to give more details in their sentence than just basic simple sentences. So a lot of them, when we were doing the examples, they had some really good ones. And they understood the concept when I gave them the verb and the noun. They were able to, you know, because they were like, well, can I use it in a past tense? Can I use it, you know, in a future tense? And so that was really good. So yeah, so I think we'll continue on with the complex and compound sentences. We're still doing the spelling piece, so I'm gonna take a look at that and see what we do next for that, for the spelling lab, because it was very interesting when we talked about the different like vowel sounds and consonant sounds and just like a lot of those things. Like, a lot of the kids had kind of forgotten about those things, and like I think even one of them was saying that she didn't remember, like she was like, I don't think I did this, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you did in primary, because I'm like, this is the way that you would know how to spell, or I'm sorry, well, yeah, well, no, not spell, but sound out words, because you would know like the short vowel sounds and how the symbols look and all that stuff. So anyway, so yeah, it was really nice to see. And then they started to see kind of like more of the complex part of spelling and like the different patterns. And so I think that was kind of what took them aback, because they were just like, oh, you know, we were so used to the basics of the vowels and consonants, and like, you know, like even some of them, you know, still had forgotten digraphs, and then, you know, they did not know diphthongs. And so so it was really nice to kind of talk a little bit more about that, because, you know, I told them, I was like, at the end of the day, like, you have to have some sort of strategy to do this. I'm like, because, you know, you don't wake up every morning knowing how to spell every word. So, but yeah, so I think we'll probably do that. We still haven't gotten into text structures yet, but hopefully we'll get a chance to do that today. Just a lot of things, you know, with coming back from break and all the stuff that's happening, that it's just like, it's hard to really keep their focus, and they just want to get things done and just be done, so that way they can just like do something else, and their just mind is just like so anywho, but yeah, so I'm headed to work. I will catch you guys a little bit later. Hopefully you're having a great day, great hump day, and it's not snowing where you are. All right, we made it to specials. Morning was pretty good. We did our word ladders, we watched CNN 10, and we did our spelling lab. I taught the kids today how to like break down and like punctuate, I guess not punctuate, but like put symbols for the breve and macron, not sure if I'm saying that right, on the symbols on like the short vowels and the long vowels, and just like breaking up the sounds. So we kind of did that today with whiteboards. It was pretty good. I think, like I said, I think this is going to help them reach those foundations to where they're going to understand like how to sound out those words to be able to spell them correctly. So I think that this is a good start for them. So I'm excited to continue using that. And then we started writing our fantasy stories. Well, we didn't start writing them. We started brainstorming. So I came up with this on Canva. And so it's just basically has like their title, their setting, characters, and the problem and solution. It's kind of basic, but it's just like their way of kind of just starting to decide what they want to do before we start getting into the writing portion of it. So, so yeah, so that's pretty much all we did in the morning. I'm gonna head over to PLC right now, but I'll check in with you guys later on today, just to let you guys know how my day's going. Good morning and happy Thursday. Today was not too bad in the morning. It was a little crazy with my kiddos. We were doing our spelling lab today, And one of my kids was like upset because she was like very adamant about the fact that like X makes the KS sound. And so she was like, that's not how you would spell if you were spelling exam. And I'm like, no, but that's how it's spelled in sounds. And we got into the whole tangent of like spelling words by sound and like knowing, you know, that's kind of what the whole deal of this spelling lab is, you know, for the sake of learning patterns. And so that's kind of what we're working on. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a headache. And then and then we also worked on these sentences. So we talked about sentences in the beginning of the week, and then we started talking about the different types of sentences. So the book now kind of gets to sentence questions, and so it asks them questions. And then this one, it has them read it, and then they have to make questions, like almost like they're making their own quiz. And then on the back, we were also working on exclamations, and so they would give them phrases, and they would tell them to either put an exclamation or a period, depending on like if it was exaggerated or like it was like extra. And then they were going to illustrate some based on that. So that's what we worked on today. And so that was a little exhausting. Like I said, just because when we were doing the spelling, it was just like a lot, like some of my kids that are like smarter, I wouldn't say smarter, I guess not smarter, but they are just like higher like level, and they question everything because like they have that mentality like they know everything. And so they were questioning me about some of the things that that we were kind of talking about in here. So it just didn't make sense to them. But I think it's just hard to do when you already know, you know, like if you already know how to spell a word and you know this is it, like it's hard to kind of look at it from like a beginner's perspective. And so like I have to tell him all the time, like my son's learning to read and he's learning his sounds, and that's how he's learning how to spell words. So they're not understanding that the reason why we're going back to learn how to spell or how to sound words is so that way when they come across a word that they don't know how to spell because it's too high for them, they could remember that they're reverting to the sounds to help them spell it out. And so, yeah, it was just a whole thing. But nonetheless, we got through it. So right now my kids are at specials. I'm going to head over to PLC, and then we also started reading The Thief of Always. And so I presented a question with them. I said, if you could live in a place where you get everything you want and experience the four seasons every day, would you move there? And so they had some really good discussions about, like, I was very surprised that a lot of them said that they wouldn't because they didn't want to get everything that they wanted, which I was like, really? Because most of us want everything we want. But I think that the kicker was the 4 seasons every day, because they were like, well, I like experiencing like time with the 4 seasons. I don't want it to just like change like within hours. And I got that. So once we did that, and then we started talking about the book, and then I read the first chapter, and they were really intrigued and into it. And they were just like, oh my God, like, well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it. But again, like I said, if you teach 5th grade or you teach like intermediate, like upper grades, like 5th and then middle school, it's a really good book to read. It's really good on fantasy, and it just has all these different like components in it that I think would catch the kids' attention. Because some of them is just like they're interested, but then the ones that aren't interested, they're just like, this is weird. And then like they want to know more because they're just like, well, you know, like they're just questioning everything. So it does still get them into the book, because then they're just like, why was he doing that? Why I wouldn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. And so regardless of whether they aren't into the fantasy or they are, they always start to kind of like think about the book more, and they start to question stuff because it's just like so far-fetched. But it's a really good book. I recommend it. I'm glad that one of the things I was introduced to it last year, and so I plan on using it every year. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna head over to PLC, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Good morning and happy Friday. We made it. We made it to the end of the week. Sorry the day got away from me yesterday. I realized I only vlogged once. Yeah, so day was pretty easy. We continued working with our spelling lab. We continued writing our fantasy story, and we continued working with the different types of sentences. We did question sentences, and then we did exclamation sentences. And so that was pretty simple. I think that for the most part, the students kind of understood that process. So it was really nice because they actually asked questions, and then they wanted the kids to look up the answers to kind of just see like the importance of like the question to answer. And then they gave them a little like passage, and so what they did was they wanted them to come up with questions for the passage. So like they read it, it's almost kind of like they were like making their own quiz or whatever. So that was cool. But yeah, so today is Friday, and it's actually going to be an easy breezy Friday because we don't have buddies today, but the buddies teacher, the second grade teacher that's buddies with my students, she wanted to do some like sunflower planting, and so she wanted my buddies to kind of help out with that. And so we're gonna go over there probably like around from 9 to like 9:30 in her room and kind of just do that. And then in the afternoon we have the DARE graduation. So my morning group, it's going to be from 9 to 9:30. They're going to do the sunflower, and then we'll continue working with the stuff that we've been working on in class. And then they'll have specials. They have library today. And then my afternoon group, they'll come in, and then at around like 1:30 we'll head over to the DARE graduation. And so yeah, that'll be our day pretty much going into the weekend. So it'll be nice and tame and not as hectic. And then yeah, so that'll be one more week down, and then we have like 8 more to go. So but yeah, so I was gonna say, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just like brain fog. I got a lot going on in my brain. So my job is I'm currently looking for a new position, and so I just been kind of racking my brain with that. I don't want to return to my school next year, and so I've been kind of looking for another place to kind of hang my hat. I've just been looking for my forever home, and it's been really hard. And I know that like I've talked to a lot of teachers like older than me and that have been in the game longer. I know I've been in the game about 12 years, but other people that have been in there longer, like they said nowadays it's really hard to find a forever home, where it was so much different back then. And it's like, I've been to a few schools, and I want to find my place where it's like I'm just there, and then I just want to finish my career there, and I just want to be solidified there. And it just doesn't seem to work out that way in many of the cases that I've kind of been around. And so I'm just like really struggling with that, because it's like I'm not a big fan of change, and that's kind of the issue, is that not being a really big fan of change has been really hard for me when I go to a different school. So like friends that I've made, or like colleagues that I've became close with, I mean, as much as you try to keep in touch, it's really hard. They have their life and they have things going on, and you're in different schools. And it's like, you know, you still talk to them every once in a while, but it's just not the same. And then you just go somewhere else, and then you just kind of feel new, and everyone else has like their, you know, they're like friends, their coworker friends or their work besties, and it's like, it's hard to kind of fit into that dynamic. And so that's kind of what I've been struggling with. And so I did get offered a position currently, but I am just, you know, me and change, and I'm just not very confident in doing the job that they're asking me to do. And I'm so grateful that they have such confidence in me that they're willing to like work with me. But I'm just so like nervous, and I'm scared because I'm like, and you know, in the back of my head, that's like not where my heart is. It's a 7th grade math position, and I haven't taught math in over 5 years, and math is not my strong suit by any means. And so it's just really, you know, the transition would be really like, you know, a culture shock for me. But you know, I've been, you know, kind of, you know, just kind of sitting on it, and you know, it's like God has been putting a lot of things in my place that has kind of like made it seem like this is the place I should go for now. But I don't know, like, I don't want to doubt what I think he's giving me, but I don't know, I just feel like in my heart that that's not where I want to be. And I don't know, maybe he knows he obviously knows something that I don't, and maybe he, you know, he's knowing that once I get there, it'll be a lot different for me, and it'll like really get me, you know, loving it, and, you know, much more simplistic job than what I've had. But I don't know. So that's the struggle that I've kind of been dealing with. And yeah, so I'm just trying to like make sense of it all, I guess, in retrospect. So but we'll see where I lay my head eventually. So, but anywho, back to our present program. Yeah, so I'm headed to school. It says I'll be there. It's 7:43 right now. It says I'll be there around 8:10. So if I don't check in with you guys, you know, anytime soon, I'll definitely check in with you guys later. Maybe I'll get some buddy footage. I'll get some graduation footage from Dare. And I'm excited because I get to see Officer Allison. This is probably the last time I'm going to see her in school. I mean, I'm sure I'll see her around maybe. And then, I don't know. I mean, her and I have kind of become buddies. So, you know, we do like have our like numbers, and we do like message and stuff like that. So maybe we'll keep in touch. But it's just sad, you know. Like I said, it's just really hard to, you know, give up the things that I am used to, but it's got to be done. So yeah, but that's about it. So I will check in with you guys later, and I hope you guys are having a great Friday. And it's not raining today, so that's good, but it is cloudy. So, but I'll see you guys later. So these are the seedlings that they did for the sunflower planting. Yeah, so some of my students did these. I didn't get a chance to record. There was so much going on. But yeah, this is what we did for the buddies. And so yeah, these were the, excuse me, the seedlings that they did. So overall, it was a pretty chill morning. Jacket's on the floor and stuff to my chair. Oh, great. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it was a pretty chill morning for the most part. Like I said, we did our word ladders, and then we went to do the planting, and then by the time we got back, we had to do specials, so that's kind of where we just went. And so I'm gonna head over to PLC, and then my other kiddos, well, they'll come back and they'll have library, and then they'll go to lunch, and then we'll switch. And then I have my other group for about almost an hour, and then we have the Dare graduation. I'll try to get footage of the Dare graduation, but if not, I'll kind of just tell you how it went. So I'll chat with you guys in a little bit.
Okay. Because I was a really shy kid when I was young, and I was very susceptible to things that I should not have done. Why are you making eye contact? Do you think this speech about you? Because it is. Just work on your confidence, continue to build your confidence. I can't wait to see you guys explode in your personality in middle school and high school. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, this will not be the last time you see me. Most of you guys know that I walk the schools constantly. In middle school, you will see me again. I still walk around, I still come hang out. High school, you will still see me.
Hello. We are at the end of our day. Ooh, this chair is so back, I just realized. Now it's too up. There we go. So, the ending of our day, as you saw, we got through DARE graduation. Officer Allison, presented our essay winners, and then she gave out certificates as well as the shirts. And yeah, it was a very nice presentation. A lot of them had some really good essays about why they plan on staying drug free, and it was just really nice to end the Friday like that. And then we just got back to the classroom. I let some of the students just have some free choice, and that was pretty much it. Normally I stay a little later and get things like prepared for next week. So I know Monday me is gonna be upset at Friday me, but it is what it is. This is the first, as you can see, look outside. This is the first day all week that we've seen sun. We have not seen sun all week, and I feel like I'm living in Seattle because I know that it rains a lot. It's very cloudy. I mean, I don't know, that might be a misconception, but that's just what I've heard. So, so if you're from Seattle, please don't come at me. Anywho. Yeah, so this is the first time we've seen sun in the whole entire week where there's no rain. It's very bright, and I'm living for it. It's still a little chilly. It's like 50 degrees outside, so it's not too warm, but the sun makes all the difference. And so I'm just gonna go home right now. I'm gonna go pick up my mother and my children. So I don't know if I told you guys today, but my boyfriend is out of town. He's in Atlanta. He won't be back until Monday. So I'm gonna go pick up my mom. I'm gonna go pick up my two children. I may drop my mom off at home at her house because she doesn't need to be there this weekend. And then me and my niece and probably my children are gonna go to the trampoline park, or as my kids call it, the jumping place, and just kind of get them out of the house. So, funny story, side note, my daughter has learned how to text message. Now, she does text to speech because she obviously can't text. She's only 5, but she will like take my mom's phone and she will like text us throughout the day. So she'll text like me, she'll text my mom or my sister, and she'll text my niece, and she'll just like randomly have conversations with us. But the crazy part about that is, because I'm like, I figured out that she's speaking to the thing, so it's like text to speech. But here's the kicker. We will text back stuff and she will respond to what we say. Now, I know for a fact that there's no way in God's green earth that she could read what we're talking about, which is so funny to me. But I don't know if she discovered like it reading it to her. So I don't know, but I mean, it's on my mom's phone. I'll have to ask her and see, but I'm just like, I don't understand how she does that, because she does it from my phone, and I don't think my phone does that, or at least I don't have it up, so I don't think that that's the case. So I don't know, but it's really crazy. If I show you these text messages, it's literally like, I'll ask her like how her day's going, and she'll say good. I'll ask her if she ate. Like today, I was like, where's grandma? And she's like, she's in the movie room watching something. And I'm like, how do you know to respond to what I'm saying? So it's like really mind-boggling for me. So I don't know. But anyway, in those text messages, she had happened to mention that she's been bored all week because, like I said, the weather is bad. So we haven't done anything. And so she said she was really bored. And so, I don't even know why I got in this lane to get back into this lane. I don't know. So she said she was really bored, and so I felt really bad because I know they haven't done anything all week. So I'm going to take them to the jumping place, and then tomorrow they have their first t-ball practice of the season. So they'll be doing that tomorrow, and then I don't know, Sunday we'll probably just hang out. Yeah, so that's going to be my weekend. I am eternally grateful that you guys made it through the week with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want. If you don't want to, not a problem. You can just casually come back whenever you are free or whenever you just have time. All good, all love. So, but for those of you that do stick around, I really appreciate you. I mean, I appreciate everybody, but those of you that stick around know you'll have a new video next week. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next vlog.